So, how predictable is your pipeline right now? Be honest, if you're like most tech service providers, it's probably a hit or miss. 1 month you're drowning in leads, the next radio silence, no consistency, no clarity, and no control. And here's the harsh truth. Without a predictable pipeline, your business is running on borrowed time. Most tech companies don't have a pipeline, they have chaos. Random ads, inconsistent referrals, and some cold outreach sprinkled in for good measure. It's not a system, it's a mess. And it's a mess that's costing you time, money, clients, and effort. But what if I told you there's an exact formula to fix this? In this video, I'm going to break down the steps to build a predictable client pipeline that works on autopilot, eliminates the guesswork, and attracts the right clients every single time. I know the pains of being in this space and competing for attention when everyone provides similar services. Things like not honing in on your target market, realigning your service messaging to speak about outcomes instead, and awareness, lead generation, nurturing, and educating your prospects to create thought leadership, creating a community where you're giving them actionable insight and not just being another commodity. The sales process can be really long and people buy from people, so it shocked me when I saw companies trying to marry their prospects before dating them. This will make more sense when you watch the video shortly. So I decided to put this video together to outline what we've been doing and how you can effectively replicate it as well. Hope you enjoy it. Follow me, connect with me, reach out to me and DM me if you want more information. Hope you get a lot of insight out of this. Thanks. So we're seeing the change in the tech service provider space. It used to be that if you shouted loud enough, ran ads, built awareness, generated leads, you could carve out a piece of the market. But now everyone's doing the same thing. So it's turning into a race to the bottom. But here's the issue. Attention alone isn't cutting it anymore. Everyone is saying the same thing. All the businesses are saying the same thing. And the shift that we're seeing right now is super clear. It's not enough to attract clients. You have to educate them first, build trust, and establish authority. People don't just buy from companies off a first interaction. They buy from companies they like, they trust, and they believe in. And trust isn't built with flashy promises or clever ads. It's built through meaningful interactions, helpful content, and consistent value. That is the key that's missing from most tech service-based businesses over the last year or so, maybe 2 years as well. So the companies that are thriving do understand that. The companies that are thriving understand that they need to provide their prospects with enough education, with enough content to make a justifiable action to reach out and then to eventually turn into a client, because that affects conversion rates as well. The companies, they're not just trying to get noticed, they're trying to build an ecosystem of that trust and authority in their industry. And they're using content and systems and their relationships to educate prospects. That's how they're doing it. They solve real problems and position themselves as the obvious choice. But obviously, if you're showing them a piece of content saying, this is our solution, this is how it can help, these are the benefits, here's your pains, here's your desires, reach out now. Yeah, some might reach out, but it's what you do after that and what you do before that that really makes the lasting effect of this whole strategy. So when companies only focus on awareness and acquisition, they're stuck in a cycle that doesn't really deliver long-term results, because if you're doing ads, you're paying for higher costs because everyone is competing for that same attention, which drives up costs and marketing budgets and obviously efforts as well from your team, because you get stuck in a campaign and you don't know what's driving the results. When you do get the results, you have a high influx of attention, and then that attention drops off and you might only get like one client from a 2-year long campaign. It doesn't make sense. And then everyone's in price wars as well, because without trust and authority, all of your clients and prospects compare you solely on price, forcing you to compete at lower margins. And again, it's a race to the bottom and it's not sustainable. And just quickly before we go into the traditional model, I just wanted to give you a quick introduction to myself. My name's Andreas. I run Emerge Digital Media, and over the last year or so, we've been helping tech service providers leverage awareness, consideration, education, and conversion to increase client acquisition. And it's not enough now just to run ads and generate clients. You need to facilitate that whole buying process, so then you increase your conversion rates in the back end. And it's what you do in that back end that really makes the difference, as well as educating your prospects over a long time. From the point of awareness to conversion, a whole lot needs to happen to enforce that you are the solution for them, almost becoming the thought leader in that industry. let's go into the traditional model. So what we're seeing is a shotgun leverage approach when companies are promoting their solutions and their products. Companies split their efforts across multiple marketing campaigns and channels, so SEO, Google Ads, cold ads, referrals, cold DMs, again, cold calls, conversion rate optimization. Yeah, those are great for optimizing your campaign. And I understand this is all for a specific product or a specific solution, but without a focused strategy, it's almost like shotgun pellets from a shotgun, and the results are basically high costs and a lot of manual effort spent on these campaigns, but these campaigns lack cohesion. They're not connected together. Yeah, you might be doing SEO, yeah, you might be doing Google Ads, but you're sending those Google Ads and that SEO to a plain landing page, and you're expecting people and companies to engage and convert off of one interaction. It doesn't really work like that in this industry anyway. You need to build up that education piece. So the impact from that is a lot of time wasted, employees spending hours running multiple uncoordinated campaigns, higher costs, so ads and campaigns across multiple channels drive up the cost per lead. Inefficiency, all of your team resources are tied up chasing small wins instead of focusing on scalable results, and there's minimal growth. So the efforts often result in small marginal improvements, leaving businesses struggling to actually achieve significant growth. And this is what the usual flow looks like. So let's scroll down here, zoom in a little bit. So this is the simplified flow. So this is the not leveraged approach. So for example, you have organic or paid traffic going towards your solution page. You might show them other content during that process. Then they either book a call or inquire with you. And then you have a retargeting campaign set up to show to people that haven't converted. If they have they closed? If they haven't, you follow up multiple times, follow up 1,000 times until they either give you a yes or a no. But this is what this looks like when these prospects are unfamiliar with you and unqualified. So in terms of the spend behind this type of strategy for your campaigns, if you're running ads, the average ad would be, the average cost per click would be £3 to £7.50 per click. Let's say you're running a 5k budget a month for that across, let's say, Google Ads, Meta, LinkedIn. LinkedIn's great because that's where your target audience are. That's where you can build up a lot of engagement and a lot of education with them. Team time, so you might be spending 35 to 50k per annum for an employee to run something like this. Conversion rates from your solution page and for the whole campaign, 2 to 5%. Seen it come in a lot lower than that as well. So your cost per booked call or an inquiry, £350 to £1,500, sometimes even a lot higher than that. Let's say 35% of all inquiries are qualified. You manage to close 20. You get 20 monthly inquiries. It takes 2 months to close an inquiry. At the end of that, you've closed one client, but you've spent 5k on your ad budget, and your employee time and cost for that manual process and that follow-up is diminished. So it's not an efficient strategy. I mean, it is traditionally, but right now it shouldn't be, and it's not efficient because it's not the best use of time. So you've got unqualified traffic wasting your time. Most of the visitors don't even know who you are, or why should they, care if they wanted to reach out. The team is bogged down. Employees spend hours following up manually, trying to nudge leads into an action. The effort outweighs the results. So for all the time and energy you pour into a process like this, you only see small wins, and you're barely moving the needle on that growth, and it's costing you more than it's worth. So this leads to low engagement and even lower conversion rates because you've skipped the relationship building phase. And this approach usually fails because it's solely focused on acquisition, but doesn't educate, nurture, or qualify those leads before they inquire. As a result, most of your traffic goes to waste. You've got huge costs, and there's no value up front, and there's no differentiation between you and competitors. So that leads you into this, what we like to call a death cycle. So this is how the traditional marketing mechanics usually look. So living in a constant pain of volume equals more leads, and you're not scaling fast enough. So you're struggling for attention. Diluting your tactics, running on paid ads, posting content, doing SEO without a structure or a clear objective of those campaigns, and there's no education leverage as well. So prospects see your content, see your ads, and see your landing page, but it doesn't teach anything or build trust. And you're pushing a fatigued offer. So everyone's doing the same thing. We're IT experts, we'll manage X, we're a cybersecurity expert. It's all the same promise that everyone else is making. It positions you as a commodity, forcing you into a price war, competing with competitor attention and leaving no room for actual perceived value. And at the end of that, you get an average awareness outcomes. So you're focused entirely on volume. How can we get more traffic? How can we get more leads? How can we get more attention? And it ignores quality and intent. Are these leads right for us? Are they ready to buy? And that's why it leads to a fight to the bottom, because it isn't sustainable, because it focuses on one narrow piece of the puzzle, the bottom of the funnel. Most companies spend all of their energy trying to convert cold, uneducated prospects who aren't ready to buy, leading to, again, high acquisition costs, low conversion rates, and burnout from trying to compete with everyone else. Instead of scaling, this approach creates a constant sense of frustration. And you might be going through this right now, so you might have ads running, you might have a good SEO campaign, you might have LinkedIn ads, but you're not actually educating and facilitating that awareness to conversion framework or that gap. And this is, aimed to help bridge that gap between it. So it's almost like a black hole where all of your efforts go in, but rarely results come out of that. Okay, so let's look at some practical examples. Let's look at Google Ads and LinkedIn ads for examples in real time. So what I've just done is Googled IT infrastructure companies, and I've just clicked on the first few ads that I've seen. So anything that says sponsored is an ad. So here's one, reliable IT infrastructure services from market leader. Okay, blah, blah, blah. There's this one, fastest name in IT managed services in Essex, blah, blah, blah. There's this one just went to this page, application and infrastructure management services. Cool, I get it. So let's look at this for a quick moment and look at some practical examples. Imagine you're scrolling through LinkedIn or looking on Google and you stumble across an IT services company saying, we provide tailored cloud solutions to help your business grow. That's okay, but what does that actually mean? There's no hook, there's no education, there's no clarity, there's no clarity on how you solve that problem. For example, this one here, reliable IT infrastructure services from market leader. And then looking at LinkedIn really quickly, we can see here, I've just looked at LinkedIn ads library. You can access this yourself and just go to linkedin.com/ad-library. And you can actually search for specific companies or keywords. And I've just typed in IT infrastructure just as a placeholder. And the countries I'm looking at is UK and US. We can see here that, these are ads and these look like ads. And this is quite fatiguing. It's quite, fatiguing thing to see on your LinkedIn feed. And I say LinkedIn because LinkedIn is the best place for B2B services. It's incredible for ads as well. But it depends on how you structure these ads. But anyway, looking back at this example, Prometheus Hyperscale is revolutionizing data center infrastructure with sustainable energy efficient solutions. Okay, let's have a look at that ad in a little bit more detail. Learn about how we're redefining industry standards for a greener future and see the latest news. No one's going to really want to do that. I mean, if you do that, it's only because you're looking for news or just looking at their product itself. Comparing those Google ads and, these type of LinkedIn ads, I mean, all of them practically say, this is us, this is what we do. There's no real value saying that because you're asking companies to marry you before they've even dated you, and we want to get them to date us first. And I say that with quotes. We want them to date us first. We want to date them first. So comparing that to, let's say, a cybersecurity company that's running a campaign saying we've reduced ransomware attacks for healthcare providers by 90%. Here's how we can do it, and here's how you can do it. That example just doesn't really get the attention. It holds it as well because it speaks directly to their pain point and provides context and builds trust in that first sentence. I'll give you another example. Say one of these competitors, one of these companies on their homepage says we're leaders in digital transformation. That's basically what this says, reliable IT infrastructure services. Great, but how? What outcomes do you deliver? Why should I care? Compare that to a competitor whose headline is like reducing operational costs by 40% in 6 months with our tailored ERP solutions. There's a huge difference there between those two headings. We're just leaders, or here's how we've done it. If you work at this company, I'm so sorry, I'm not here to tear you down. It's not personal. I'm just not saying this to be harsh, but it's a great example of why so many companies fall short with, vague language, no clear offer, no education. And it's a lesson, a distinction between being super specific, being super clear, and giving value up front. And that's how you turn, a casual scroll on LinkedIn or a casual click on a Google ad into something meaningful. So actually delivering what their pain points are and a timeline, and saying who you've done it for as well. I know this has probably got case studies further along down here, but it's above the fold. This first bit here needs to really talk to them. So how do you actually optimize your mechanism for attention to get more clients effectively? So this new model here, let's go over to this framework. This new model here really optimizes your attention, structured offers, and education, and it tracks the right people and addresses their specific pain points and moves them towards making a decision with clarity and trust. So going through this, optimize attention. It all starts here, getting the right people to notice you, but grabbing attention isn't enough, as I mentioned earlier. Most companies fall into the trap of that diluted marketing approach, shouting into the void with no strategy to hold that attention, or move it forward. This is what it looks like. So quality over quantity. Instead of chasing clicks, focusing on attracting prospects who align with your ideal customer profile or ICP. Having the right targeted message as well. So your content should address specific pain points that resonate with that audience. So having optimized attention, having a structured offer, and then eventually educating and nurturing them. So building trust from the start. Every touch point, whether it's an ad or a blog post or a LinkedIn post, should add value and position you as a company worth listening to. So moving into a structured offer. So you've earned their attention. The next step is showing them that you're the right choice. And here's the problem. Most companies fail here because their offers are too vague. And when I say offer, I mean their main headline, why a company is looking at you for your potential solutions. Or your your language that you use on the website, and your videos and your content is really, really similar to all of your competitors and similar to what everyone else is doing. A structured offer works because, again, it speaks directly to their pain points. So instead of focusing on features, you need to focus on outcomes. Show them how you solve their specific problems. And it's easy to understand. A confused prospect doesn't really convert. Your offer should be so clear that they immediately see the value, and it connects from the attention stage. So everything that they've learned about you during all of your content so far, it should lead seamlessly into this offer and making it feel like the next logical step. And then moving over to the education and nurturing stage, this is a game changer. Most businesses really just stop at generating attention and generating that to their landing page. That's where they stop. But the truth is, your audience isn't ready to buy straight away. They need to understand how your solutions address their specific pain points, and this is where the nurturing side of it comes in. Educating them without selling. So it's all about providing value, not pushing your offer, showing them outcomes that solve their pain points, how your solutions work and why it matters to them. And then addressing those challenges offers clarity, and you're building trust and empowering them to see you as the solution that they need without feeling pressured to buy. The goal is to get them to buy your solution in their brain without them actually hopping on a call with you and buying your solution. Then you almost want to kind of pre-sell them with all of this attention, the offer, and education and nurturing. And this is the refined leverage approach, and it's a beautiful model because, again, you're optimizing attention, you're providing them with a structured solution to their pain, and you're educating them and you're nurturing them. It's not about spending more or chasing endless leads. It's about aligning all of your strategies and all of your efforts into a system that works cohesively together, a system where your audience almost raises their hand because they see the value that you bring them. So I want you to do something really quickly. Ask yourself, are you doing it all? Are you doing SEO? Are you doing ads? Are you doing content? Are you doing remarketing? Is it working, or is it just keeping you busy? Maybe it is working, but there are gaps that you need to plug. Maybe your conversion rates could be higher from click to client or click to lead. Maybe your funnel isn't bringing in the right type of audience. Efficiency is key, so you need to build a system, not just a campaign. So I want your mindset to shift a little bit, and I want you to make a transition into thinking about how you can really structure your marketing mechanism to make it cohesive into sales as well, to facilitate that whole sales process. And I'll take you through this. This is called the efficiency deficit. It's a whole model. It basically shows the areas on which you can focus your time and effort on, and once they're nailed, you can roll out the rest of the campaign. And I'll talk you through what that campaign looks like as well in a second with the breakdown. Just a quick flick through, this is what it looks like, so you're in for a treat. When it comes to fatigue messaging, as I mentioned earlier, the whole market is saying the same thing. How do you stand out? That's one thing that you need to solve. For example, we provide cybersecurity we help X industries, for example, the health industry, prevent downtime from happening with our solution in 90 days. What you want to stick to is an industry times outcome times time frame. Everyone wants to see the outcome fast. If you can't deliver it fast, that's absolutely fine. You just need to be upfront so then they know what they're getting themselves into. This should have been at the start, actually, ICP alignment. A lot of companies that we see aren't aligned with their target demographic, not knowing who to target or who needs their solution, and not getting in front of the right people at the right time. Who needs your solution? Most tech service providers are too broad or too generic, and they fail to resonate with their ideal customer. From all those examples that we shared here, they're not talking about their end customer. They're not talking about who they're trying to get in front of. And that's a key step that you need to put into your marketing. Again, sporadic campaigns, so running bottom of funnel ads. So you're running all of your traffic to convert as opposed to engage. You just hit the mic. So you're showing them the end product without building that education, without building that relationship up with them first. So where's the trust? You're just giving them a solution or advice, and that ties into fading attention. So expecting to convert off of a few interactions. You're expecting your prospects to come to the website, come to the solution page, see a bit of your content, and then convert. They won't do that. 9 times out of 10, you wouldn't buy something just off a first interaction if it's quite a considerable amount of money. So this needs to be nurtured. Do you have a place to nurture prospects to help them raise their hands? So going back to my first analogy, asking prospects to marry them instead of dating them first. You want to date them first. And then in the back end, once you do have them in that pipeline, you need a conversion mechanism. So you might have a huge drop-off from website visits to opt-ins. And when we say opt-ins, we mean inquiries or someone digesting your content. When they digest your content, you want them to do something in the back end. You want them to either see more content or you want them to download something. You want some way of getting their data, I guess, getting their email, getting their name, so you can follow up them, you can put them in that community, you can retarget them more effectively. Or are you just waiting for them to convert? This will take you from that stage of awareness and inquiries. That's okay, but if you want to grow, this needs to be 100% more efficient. So if you want to see what happens when you've built authority, given value, and educated them up front, this is what the actual mechanism looks like, and there's a few different variations of this. So this really changes the game from what you're doing now to scaling very, very fast and attracting the right clientele, the right prospects, getting them on you, and then retargeting them and educating them. This is what that looks like, and this is what we implement into companies as well. This is what you can implement. You've identified your offer, you've identified your ideal customer profile. This could be the offer could be cybersecurity for healthcare firms or something like that. And you actually understand who you need to get in front of, if that's CIOs, CTOs, founders, managing directors, who needs to see you. Then you have content and assets. So the thing that separates you from the rest of the market is your content and assets. What are you actually creating and delivering to them on an educational basis, where it's not just selling, but actually give them actionable value up front. Gary Vee said, jab, 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 right hook, which effectively means give, then ask. We're trying to give them as much value as we can before we even make that ask. And we want them to see all of that content. And for that content, you're going to be driving organically and using paid ads for that. You re-engage with your previous leads or the ones that haven't turned into clients yet. That way you're creating a community of nurturing and education with your paid ads as well. So you do some retargeting there. And then you have a lead capture mechanism. So a video sales letter, an asset, and a newsletter, an application, an inquiry process, something that makes them raise their hand and say, this is a piece of content that I want. Let me opt in for it. Let me provide my name and email. And on that thank you page, after they've provided all of that data, there's an action point for them to book a call to express their interest. Almost like we see videos do the best. So you have a video asset, similar to what you're digesting now. And then on the thank you page, you have another video that says, thanks for digesting this content. Book a call with us to see if we can help you with your pain points with our solutions. Now, this is where most companies fall short, analyzing if they've booked a call. If they haven't, then we follow up with email nurturing, and then we have a trained virtual assistant to reach out. Now, this virtual assistant is aimed to share more assets with them, ask the prospect if they've consumed those assets, and when I say assets, I mean more content. If they haven't, follow up and get them to consume the assets even more. If they have, then you just put them into email nurturing. If they have consumed the assets, then we offer the chance to get a call with us. This is hyper intensive because not a lot of companies are doing this. They're getting back to their prospects within 1 week or within a couple of days. This needs to be done within the hour of them digesting and opting in for a piece of content. This is what sets you apart, because I think Salesforce said this: you need 7 to 25 touches before a prospect becomes a client, and this facilitates one of those touches. As you can see further up, we've hit them so many times with our retargeting, with our content, with our newsletter communication and the community, eventually leading down to them booking a call, and they're still getting more content from us. So yes, we offer them the call. If not, then they would have already booked a call through the thank you page. If they haven't, then we provide more content for them and then push them over that threshold to booking a call. Obviously, verifying and qualifying them in that process with the virtual assistant, and then eventually the sales call, and then they turn into a client. That's effectively the mechanism that you need to be embedding into your company. I can break this down even further. Let me show you this. So this is the focus for today. This is what I want to emphasize, and this is what will take you from competing to dominating the market. And look at these results just really quickly before I just go into that. So we've got a few here. Flowspace in the B2B SaaS space, implementing that growth framework for Yeva. 3 to 6K average client value, 63 leads in 3 months, 30 new high-paying clients from their internal content, and some proof here around the campaigns. For Searchland, B2B PropTech SaaS, 2 to 20K average contract value, 227 leads in 3 months, and then 81 new paying clients. Some proof there. That is essentially the output of the conversion framework of what I'm about to show you now. So this is the thing: it's not better ads, it's not better keywords or content, it's not getting better at sales, it's education, it's awareness and efficiency. Starting right at the top, you can even implement this right now, and I'll talk you through how this works specifically. So starting from the top, as you're a B2B, I highly recommend that you focus primarily on LinkedIn to reach the decision makers. It's not expensive. You can do this along with what you're currently doing because it supplements, and from what my opinion and from what we're seeing, it exceeds it. If you're running Google Ads, or if you're doing SEO, for example, they'll see everything we're doing here because of the retargeting function, and I'll show you. So this is what we like to call the thought leader framework. So when you're selling complex B2B solutions to sophisticated buyers, it's all about building that trust, credibility, and awareness, as I mentioned at the start. They'll hardly engage or buy your solution off an impulse, so you need to make them aware, trust, and engage with you, and eventually they'll buy. So when you get on the call, similar to our ads that we're running as well, they already know you before they've even spoken to you or your sales team. And you do this by positioning your company and your team and your founders and anyone that you want to be the spokesperson to pull those leads in. You position them as thought leaders. Prospects see you as thought leaders, convert higher and at a higher percentage as well. And the best way to reach these prospects, again, is both through Google Ads and LinkedIn, but we're going to be focusing on LinkedIn for this. So this needs a well thought out strategy. So in this first flow here, you need to pick a company spokesperson or a number of people to represent your company that people build trust with. So as I mentioned, companies trust people who they believe in. So you need to turn your profile, you need to turn their profiles into the funnel, and you need to create that offer in that profile. So optimizing your headline, optimizing your image, optimizing your featured section. So adding book a call and assets. I'll show you mine really quickly so you can get an idea of that. So my headline, helping technology service providers optimize their client acquisition. And we've got our featured section so people can book a call or you can get your free marketing plan. And then you can see and digest all of the content that we're posting here, going directly out to founders and marketing teams. Optimizing your about section. Here's where the main work lies, creating content at the top of the funnel and the bottom of the funnel and posting that out on LinkedIn. We do have a specific subset and a specific framework of what type of content to post, but just as an idea, posting content to generate awareness 3 times a week, how-tos, how you, industry insight, pain points that your ICP engage with, and then developing content frameworks around those pillars, around their ICP, so pain points, interests, emerging topics, case studies, thought pieces. And then at the bottom of the funnel, you need something that makes them raise their hand. So you need something that they need to opt in for on the back end, something like a case study that they can download, or a framework similar to what you're digesting now, or walkthrough of a piece of content or a document that they can download. And then at the end of that magnet, we call it a lead magnet. At the end of that, having a call to action to book a call. And then, or you can actually ask them to comment and connect to receive the asset as well. What we want to do after they've digested the awareness pieces is post the lead magnets going out to them. And then from there, you link them to a landing page. You link that specific content to a landing page. And then they have an option to opt in to receive that specific asset, the download, the framework, whatever that is. Then on the thank you page, that's where you have the book a call function. Okay, so you're building education, you're building awareness, and you're converting them to raise their hands. Now, that flows into what we like to call thought leadership, and this is what that looks like. Zooming back out, that's just one portion of the whole workflow. What we're going into now is actually getting that content in front of the right type of people. And it all starts again with looking at your ideal customer profile and aligning your offer with their pain points. And we use a mix of organic, long and short form content as well as paid ads. Now we're spending anywhere between £50 to £100 a day and pulling in clients from LinkedIn ads. And you can do this with Google alongside LinkedIn for education. And I'll show you exactly how we're doing that as well. So from the top, we have the attention framework, defining who your ICP and offer is, what makes them tick, what makes them want to consume your content, what assets will they find valuable enough to say, yes, this is what we need. As I mentioned, picking a spokesperson from the company, often the founder or a sales or a operations person. We need someone to be the face, the thought leader effectively, because people buy from people. Then going into the organic, long and short form content side of this content isn't so much about you, it's about solving their pain points with your solutions and educating them about the systems and about the solutions that are out there. So we need to figure out what makes them tick and put that content in front of them. The idea is to create posts around attention grabbing concepts for your ideal customer profile. And then you can automate, what we do is automate the outreach to your current connections that match your ICP on LinkedIn, and new connections as well. So we can also look at previous leads and clients and putting this content in front of them. So we're not pitching them to say, hey, we'd provide this solution, come and book a call with us or inquire if you're interested. We're actually saying we've got this great piece of content that goes through XYZ pain points. Here's the link. And you wait for them to digest it. That way, we're not being too salesy. We're not pushing them to speak with us. We're not pushing them to book a call or inquire. We're actually giving them actionable insight into some of the pains that they might be having. And that's the reason why we want to create this amazing content, because it solves the pain points that they're having. Something actionable, something that they'll find valuable. And the goal is to get businesses to spend as much time digesting your content as possible. They might not need your solution yet, but they might in the future. And LinkedIn isn't transactional, but clients will remember you in months to come if you're positioning your content like that. Now, on the paid ad side, you don't have to do paid ads, but it's a lot faster than the organic content side, because you can go live in one day and already have thousands of companies seeing your content. And here's where you'll find, the 5% of companies in the market looking for your services. And here's the differentiation. You're not promoting ads from the company like the examples that we saw here. Like these examples, these are all from company pages. These are from companies themselves. You're not promoting ads directly from the company. You're promoting the content that you've published about solving pain points along with the assets that you've already created. And the reason why that's so powerful is because you're achieving a lot cheaper cost per click than traditional company page ads and Google ads as well. So you'll spend probably anywhere between 20 pence to £1 per click on those ads. And because these are personal posts structured as ads, they don't actually look like ads. You only see a sponsored by in the post itself. It doesn't actually look like an ad, so it looks native to their feed, which is why it does so well. It's almost like you're sneaking in with an ad, building up the engagement, they're digesting that content. You don't have to be connected with them either. They're seeing those ads. So the idea behind the paid ad side is to find the ones that do really well in the organic posts and then push them out, more of them, to your target audience. Getting eyes on your assets, those who are ready to inquire, those who will see you frequently until they are ready. And it's a huge engagement building and awareness and educating mechanism that will drive the attention of the clicks and eventually retarget the ones who are ready to raise their hands. So in terms of the ad framework, now you might want to skip past this bit. It does get a little bit complicated. It is quite complex, but stick around. I promise there's a lot more value in this. So in terms of the ad structure itself, this is how we tend. So I'm giving you the secrets here to everything we do. So here's the actual structure of what we do. We have our content that we've seen do really well. So we position 70% of the budget into cold ads, 30% of the budget into warm ads, and then we split down 3 different audience types. So your ideal customer profile, this is actually using LinkedIn's system to do this, job titles, industry, location, size. We create an ABM list, so account-based marketing list of the companies that you want to target, and a lookalike audience of your current customers as well. So we give that data to LinkedIn to say, hey, go and find more of these type of companies. Then we split test the ads against each other. So this is why it's so good, because you can go live instantly and get data straight away. Point them all to a specific piece of content or a VSL or an asset that we want them to download. And they either convert or they don't. And then they see the thank you page and they book a call. Or if they don't convert, then we want to retarget them as frequently as we can given the budget. So 30% of the budget goes into the warm campaign. This is everything in orange. Create 3 different audiences. Anyone that's engaged in the last 30 to 90 days. Anyone that's engaged within 90 days. And then anyone that's engaged in the last 180 days. And the idea again is to split test that with engaging ads and posts. Show them the VSL. They either convert or they don't. Now, just that alone will drive up so much engagement and education for them. You'll see a lot of clicks coming in. You'll see DMs start to come in. You'll see inquiries start to come in. But that is just the front end of this whole mechanism, driving the awareness. And that's why we call this the attention framework at the start. Now, we move down into the nurturing framework. What we want to do is drive them almost into a community. And we like to do either like a LinkedIn group, a newsletter, or anything that allows us to capture their data, name and email. So then we have a set audience that we can reach out to. Send them a series of email cadences as well. Get them to digest even more content from us. Nurturing content, so webinars, downloads, videos, retargeting, reaching back out to your previous clients as well, or previous prospects. Trust building and positioning you as an authority to consume more content. Now, once we've put more content in front of them, you'll start to get people raise their hands because they've seen the end target. They've seen this landing page here. Where is it? They've seen this landing page here, which has the VSL on it, the piece of the asset, the piece of content that they're trying to consume, and it's made them opt in. So they've raised their hands. They've almost qualified to say, yeah, this is a solution that we need. So the second that they raise their hands and opt in, we want to see if they've booked a call. If they haven't, then that's when our AI appointment setter or virtual assistant jumps in within 24 hours to deliver a little bit more content, qualify them a little bit more and push them over to book a call. Or you can just push them over to a demo or a webinar presentation to push them over to book a call. Once they've booked a call, then you sell them on the call and they become a client. It's as easy as that, but it does break down into a lot more detail, which we can show you, and that's the conversion framework side of it. This whole process is getting them to digest your content, pushing them to even more content that resonates with their pain points and their desires, the digesting all of that content, spending days looking at you, learning about the solutions, who and how you help. If you are already generating leads, this whole mechanism will maximize that efficiency and skyrocket your lead to client conversion rates as well. And it works so well with, the leads that you already have in your funnel, because you're re-engaging and reaffirming them to be their chosen provider. And generally, it takes so much energy to generate those leads. So what happens post those companies paying you attention? Leads drop off because they're not engaged. That's what makes this framework so powerful. The fact that you're using thought leadership to convey how you solve their biggest pains and differentiate yourself in the market, and the fact that you have that conversion mechanism embedded the second that they're ready to raise their hand. After they raise their hands, that dictates how good you are on the back end to booking a call. And this is what sets most companies apart. That's the piece that's missing, being fast and delivering even more value on the back end as soon as they raise their hands. So from an agency perspective, so we're a marketing agency, most marketing agencies just focus on getting their clients more leads. And clients always say, these leads aren't qualified, or the cost is too high. This solves that issue. And this is what makes this framework so unique. So when you jump on those sales calls, your leads aren't saying to you, so what do you do? Because you've given them so much engagement through your content up front, and you're nurturing video assets and all of that content, because you've given them so much to digest, they're already pre-sold as soon as they get on that call with you. So this is the missing key from the majority of your marketing strategies. And this is what takes you from this model, transforming you into this model. The first model, as I mentioned, struggling for attention, having that unsavory offer and average awareness outcomes, spending more time thinking volume does not equal quality, spending money on ads with high acquisition costs, waiting for SEO to kick in, leads still asking, so what do you do? No education or community engagement, and then shouting the same message as everyone else. Then taking you through that transformation of managing awareness, content education, and then talent management as well. So that's on the virtual assistant / AI appointment setter. So you're not spending on managing new hires, just implementing a system that we set up, manage and run for 6 months, then help you scale, manage and implement this whole mechanism, the whole structure, moving from that sporadic and reactive system to leverage growth. And again, what that looks like is the awareness campaign, content assets, offer, message alignment, moving you into educating your prospects with a nurturing mechanism and creating that community of eyeballs. So then they raise their hands when they are ready. And all you have to do is basically say, this is our solution. And it takes them over to that sales enablement mechanism of that back-end system. That gives you leverage. Compound your actions focused on one goal. And this is a vehicle that produces results systematically month on month. Costs go down, efficiency goes up. You go from that red ocean to blue ocean. This reduces all of the noise with your differentiation. Prospects see you as the authority and solution to their pain points. And the conversion mechanism allows you to rapidly engage with those prospects, which leads to decreased fatigue because of that nurturing. And you'll see your conversion rates skyrocket because of this. Now, believe it or not, there is a pitch in this, because this is one of our assets that allows us to get more clients in and get more interest and sparks engagement as well, because we've taken you through that entire mechanism, that mindset shift to that traditional model to this infrastructure, this mechanism that nurtures all of that attention and helps to convert that attention into booked calls or booked inquiries. This is what that looks like. So here is my pitch to you and how we actually help leverage this thought leadership to awareness and to client infrastructure. I just wanted to give you some full transparency as well. This will cost between 7K to 35K, depending on a few things like your current capacity, what you've done so far, what resources you have at hand, and how fast you want to grow because of the aggressiveness of this campaign. And firstly, this isn't cheap. The reason is because if it was, we'd be doing this for everyone, and also everyone would be doing it for themselves. What we've put together is very complex, and there's a huge barrier to entry, and no other agency in this space, as far as I'm aware, is doing this. They just care about setting up ads and sending you crappy leads without efficiency, which is a huge cost in time, effort, and resources for you. And it's frustrating because as soon as you switch it off, leads drop, and there's no compounding effect. It doesn't get better over time, and you're back to square one every quarter, feeling burnt out. Or if you do this and you do this internally, your team isn't geared up for this. It's new. They can embrace it, and it'll take around about 24 months for them to perfect and get the data, and probably cost upwards of 500k trying to get this perfect. But we've implemented this for a lot of businesses, so we know we can replicate all of the successes and get success almost immediately from a campaign like this. And again, it's super difficult to build out because not one single person or agency can offer this today, which makes this infrastructure totally unique. And the second reason is because of the value it brings tech service providers. We don't price on time, we price on value, and we know the value that this creates. Value equals increased efficiency, equals less cost on client acquisition, employees, resource, and time trying to work this out for yourself. It gives it a compounding value. So the more engaged, higher quality leads and clients you get, and obviously revenue. Tackling the whole process of eyeballs from client to advocate. We'll build out the entire infrastructure in phases within 30 days. So you go live within 30 days. And this is a 6-month project to run. We train your team and then we celebrate your successes as well. After that, we're on hand to support with a small retainer fee if you wanted us to manage this as well. But you get everything from standard operating procedures, resources, video breakdowns that we create for you, and all you have to do is come into the campaign and optimize it effectively. We're not setting this up and expecting you to do all the work. We do it all. This is a mix between a done for you and a done with you service. We do it all. We make it successful first, and that's usually within the second month. And what you have access to is proven data on what's working from all of our clients' campaigns, proven assets and templates for schedules and videos and content and posts. So we actually create all of that for you. Proven automation and templates for re-engagement of new and previous leads, and a visual way to see what's going in versus what's coming out the campaign. So we can say, we've spent all of this time doing this, we spent money on this ad campaign, and this is the return on investment. So you get that visually in your campaign. I want to show you the phases of what that looks like as well. So let's go over here. So this is what we like to call the efficiency amplitude, taking you from where you are now, so an IT firm that generates over 700k a year, to your desired state, which is awareness, leads and clients, growth to 5 mil a year. And we split that up into 4 phases. So let's go through this together. Phase 1, realignment, looking at your ICP, auditing your past client trends, GA4, pixel tracking. Where do you have the most success with your clients? Do some avatar research and documentation on that, looking at LinkedIn Sales Navigator for research and list building, understanding their pain points and putting that together in a whole document and optimizing your profile. Then we restructure your offer and align it to those pain points. What's the value of that? You know, what stands out? What do your prospects want to hear? How do we craft an offer that they want? Is it an irresistible offer? And then we move over to targeting the right ICP with that offer. And then phase 2 is the attention phase. So this is what we get built out within the first month. Attention education, building out all of your assets, building out the destination for your video sales letter or your main asset that prospects have to opt in for, building out your inbound, building out your outbound. For your inbound, it would be paid ads and organic content, putting together that framework of cold and warm traffic, retarget engages with those engaging ads, and then looking at your organic content, targeting past clients and leads with that as well as new ones. And then looking at your outbound, that DM automation process, sending content to them and automating your connections and requests as well, so we can get in front of new people organically. They digest all of that information, become engaged, and then we move over to phase 3, which is nurturing. So we're leveraging all of that attention and nurturing it, building a community through LinkedIn groups with new content every single week and newsletter content as well. So everyone that's opted in, we want to give them newsletter content, digesting even more value from us. And then we have our retargeting campaigns for awareness and conversion. And then we move into phase 4, which is the conversion and retention mechanism. So we have that VSL for those who have opted in but not booked a call. Then we have a VA that reaches out to them, or a piece of AI to move those prospects to book a call by showing them more valuable content. If they have booked a call, then we put them into a 5-step email cadence to build even more trust and consume even more content. So when it comes to the call, they're already pre-sold on that call, as well as digesting all of the other content that they've seen on LinkedIn, on the website, through the VSL, through everywhere. They've seen all of that content, they're already pre-sold, and it makes your sales job a lot easier. And that's how we see conversion rates skyrocket. So going back into this is a mix of effort between us and you. We'll build out everything you'll need, but you need to dedicate 2 to 3 hours a week to help us implement some of the content and record the assets. We'll help you with all of that anyway. So why do I believe this is the best solution that you'll ever need for client acquisition and increasing marketing efficiency? Well, it respects the rule of educating, nurturing, and giving value, leading to a more efficient sales process. So here's how you express your interest in working with us. There are 2 ways to see if you're the best fit for this. Click on the link below this video or around this video, digest some more information and book a call. Or you can DM me and on LinkedIn and mention that you've just watched this video, and we'll go through some qualifying questions as well. There are 2 options: done with you, which is priced between 7 to 14k, one off, or done for you, which is priced between 15 to 35k. We do have various payment plans as well, so you can pay up front and get 20% off. You can pay the full amount split over 6 months. You can pay every 2 months. And just to mention as well, we are a growth partner, so we take 15% of revenue generated starting from month 3. After month 6, it goes back to normal. And we launch new projects on the first week of every month, so this keeps it consistent, so we know what's coming up and it allows us to set up for the project. Now, here are some guarantees to make sure this is an irresistible offer to you. If we can implement the infrastructure into your business, you leverage this system and follow our guidance consistently to meet the required inputs, and you don't make back your initial investment within 90 days, we'll offer an extended support and the option to request a refund as well. So we take all the risk. All we need to do is get you one client to make back your investment, which we are more than capable of doing within 90 days. I just want to filter out who this is not for. Companies who want clients the second they pay. This is a compounding effect. Companies who aren't adaptable to change. You need to be able to embrace this change. Companies that sell a product or B2C, this is for B2B services only. Startups, unless you have quite substantial funding and an industry already carved out. So we are very super picky of who we take on. Who this is for: companies that have a lifetime value of 75k plus per client, companies that understand marketing and sales go hand in hand, companies that want to scale, companies that can embrace change, and companies that are proactive and enthusiastic about increasing efficiency and revenue. We get a lot of inquiries, so we need to filter out the ones that we can actually help. So reach out, see if we can help. Thanks for spending some time with me here today, and hopefully see you on our next call. Take care.